this excerpt from the Ben and Ryan show, Mark Takata tells us all about the extras that Adobe does for customers. It's truly a first-class experience.
This was something you brought up in your evangelist talk. And I think this gets painted in a poor light a lot in our technology communities, which is that when a huge company like an Adobe or a Google or a Facebook or a Microsoft, when they are the ones backing a product, it is often painted with this, well, now you're under the agenda of whatever that company wants to do, and they're the ones, deciding which features go in and out. But when we look at all of the frameworks, at least on the front end, that have been the most successful, they have been the ones that are backed by these massive companies. And I don't think I've really thought about it. Yeah, I haven't thought about it super deeply, but you mentioned that in your talk, that you don't just get cold fusion, you get, as you put it in the call or in the presentation, a number to call when there's a problem. And you don't get that when it's some guy in Wisconsin that's maintaining a front end library. And I don't know, that's very compelling, I think.
There's value there, honestly, and it has been stated very explicitly to me on multiple calls from these companies that, for whatever faults they may find with Cold Fusion, they love the fact that they can pick up the phone or can get me on Teams and not just talk to me, as pleasant as I am, but have me pass them on to the owner of that particular, the engineer who wrote that. Yeah. And that they can deep dive into it, and they'll be like, oh, you're doing this. Oh, we didn't think that's an interesting use case. Like that never came up before. Hold on, let me figure out how we can make that. And we've shipped patches, and it
that was surprising to me. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we totally do that. And it's a little problematic because we have to be careful, right? That those patches don't get kind of out of the they don't get uninstalled and they don't get in the way of other things, right?
Sorry, just for the listeners' clarity, when Mark says they ship patches, he's not referring to the hot fixes that everyone gets. You're saying,
private.
Some Acme Inc. that's spending a very special amount of money, they can call up and say, hey, something's not working, and Adobe will literally create custom code for them.
Correct.
That's amazing. That's great.
We've definitely done that, and you're right. I mean, it's often the bigger customers that get that. However, it's sort of a it's a self-selecting group, because those people are often the ones that have these enormous server farms, hundreds and hundreds.
It's like first class in a plane. Like the people who buy first class and business class are subsidizing essentially everyone else in the plane. Like the airlines run on first class tickets, and you get to fly coach because of them. And a little bit, it's the same way.
And some of these, not all the patches, because some of them are so esoteric, right. That you're just like, well, this has no business being in the main branch, right? And in those cases, we will often work with the company and be like, yeah, guys, could you guys not do that? Because A, it's stupid, and B, it's dumb, and 3, it's really annoying.
So do you have to then do you maintain those special patches then over time? Wow.
Yeah, we maintain all those patches up until the point at which they move on, and that does happen. There's a military contractor that we were working on that had patches that we gave them probably about 7 years ago, and then finally they've moved completely to the cloud. The patches were required because they were running in a very strange on-prem environment that was just, things were not talking to each other in the proper way. They had it set up in a way that just didn't, the file system was not being recognized correctly, and on our end we're like, why? What advantage does it give you? What maniac decided that was how you were going to set it up? And they're like, well, it's just the way that we've run for years, and so we said, all right, well, okay, yeah, I guess we'll patch it so that it works. So we did, and we maintained that for probably 6-7 years, and then they finally moved over completely to the cloud. That problem disappears. That patch goes away. And we're golden, and but that was a long.
And all your regression testing on all those patches as well.
This is why regression. Yeah, people wonder yeah, we have. It's complicated, man. There's 100 and something third-party libraries that we all have to test. There's a weird customized Tomcat. There's all these custom patches. There's the potential that what you're running on doesn't have the latest hotfix, or right, like we don't want to. If you've decided that you don't want to run the latest hotfix, and it's not a security patch, so maybe for whatever reason you don't want to do that, and it breaks, that's bad, right? like we can't have that. So we need to test all of those things on Linux, on Windows, like multiple Linuxes, the Linuxes that are certified. Like we have to go through all that. So yeah, it's not trivial. Yeah.